Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Indian Prime Minister concludes his historic 2-day visit to Kuwait, with both sides elevating the relationship to strategic partnership. Slovak Prime Minister meets Russian President as Ukraine refuses to extend Russian gas transit deal, which nears expiry. Syria's new leader says all weapons to come under state control, including those held by Kurdish-led forces, to announce defense and military structure soon. Small plane crashes into Brazil tourist city, killing at least 10. After concluding his historic 2-day visit to Kuwait, during which he strengthened India's ties with the Gulf nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned home. In a special gesture, Kuwait's Prime Minister personally came to see off Prime Minister Modi at the airport. In a social media post, Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "Thank you, Kuwait. This visit was historic and will greatly enhance our bilateral relations. I thank the government and people of Kuwait for their warmth. I also thank the Prime Minister of Kuwait for the special gesture of coming to the airport for the see-off." India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's historic 2-day visit to Kuwait featured several significant moments that greatly enhanced the bilateral relation. The visit, first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 40 years, included interaction with the Indian diaspora and Kuwait's leadership. Here's a report by DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi being awarded the Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir, the highest honor in Kuwait, by his Kuwaiti counterpart Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah during his historic visit to the Gulf nation. The Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir has been previously awarded to foreign leaders like Bill Clinton and George Bush. On the second day of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with the Amir of Kuwait, Sheikh Mishal Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah. This was the first meeting between the two leaders. On arrival at the Bayan Palace, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was given a ceremonial welcome with a guard of honor. The leaders recalled the strong historical and friendly ties between the two nations. Both the leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further expanding and deepening bilateral cooperation. India-Kuwait agreed to elevate the bilateral relationship to a strategic partnership. Prime Minister thanked the Amir of Kuwait for ensuring the well-being of Indian community in Kuwait. The Amir of Kuwait expressed appreciation for the contribution of Indian community in Kuwait's development. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited the Amir of Kuwait to visit India.
The leaders acknowledged that the bilateral relations were progressing well and welcomed their elevation to a strategic partnership. The Prime Minister also expressed confidence that the India-GCC relations will be further strengthened under the presidency of Kuwait.
PM Modi also held bilateral discussions with Crown Prince Sabah Al Khalid Al Sabah and the Prime Minister of Kuwait. During the visit of the Prime Minister, India and Kuwait deepened their relationship by signing of several MOUs, including MOU between India and Kuwait on cooperation in the field of defense, Cultural Exchange Program or the CEP between India and Kuwait for the years 2025 to 2029. Executive Program or EP for cooperation in the field of sports from 2025 to 2028, and Kuwait's membership of International Solar Alliance.
The International Solar Alliance, Kuwait becoming a member, collectively covers the deployment of solar energy and addresses key common challenges to the scaling up of use of solar energy to help member states develop low carbon growth trajectories.
Before departing, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a meeting with Kuwaiti influencers who for years have worked towards enhancing cultural cooperation between the two countries.
A new chapter in the ties of India and Kuwait has started with the historic visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Be it trade or defence, energy security or cultural exchanges, both the countries are now set to take their relationship to new heights. In Kuwait City with camera person Rajesh Ricky, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
India's Madhya Pradesh has been recognized by the Wall Street Journal as one of the go-to global destinations for 2025. This accolade highlights the state's rich heritage, unparalleled wildlife and exceptional natural beauty. Principal Secretary Tourism and Culture Department expressed delight, saying this global recognition solidifies Madhya Pradesh's status as a world-class travel destination. With 14, including 3 permanent and 11 tentative UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 9 tiger reserves and vibrant cultural experiences, the state offers unique experiences for every traveller. This recognition specifically highlights renowned UNESCO World Heritage Site Khajuraho, Panna and Bandhavgarh, celebrated for their cultural significance, thrilling wildlife encounters and breathtaking landscapes. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will visit the holy city of Prayagraj to review preparedness for the centuries-old spiritual gathering Mahakumbh. Chief Minister will also hold a review meeting with officials regarding the preparations of Mahakumbh, which will commence on January 13th. The spiritual festival of Mahakumbh is held once in every 12 years. As part of the preparations, safety and security of pilgrims are given much importance. Teams from NDRF, SDRF and police will coordinate the efforts. Uttar Pradesh will integrate artificial intelligence and advanced technologies to enhance security of millions of devotees expected to attend. The India Meteorological Department has reported fresh western disturbance is expected to impact northwest India and the western Himalayan region with widespread showers and snowfall between December 27th and December 28th. A cyclonic circulation currently over Rajasthan at lower tropospheric levels will contribute to this activity, resulting in snow and rainfall across several regions. A severe cold wave alert for parts of Himachal Pradesh in the coming days has been put forth. Additionally, cold wave conditions are predicted to affect Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Ladakh during the same period. Apart from waking up to a chilly winter morning, the national capital, Delhi, along with adjoining areas, is witnessing sudden rainfall and early showers. Coastal Andhra Pradesh, northern Tamil Nadu and Puducherry have been pounded by heavy showers recently. The same is the case with parts of Odisha, coastal Gangetic West Bengal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Assam and Meghalaya. Due to lower tropospheric levels, the Met Department predicts light to moderate rainfall with some intense spells expected from December 24 to 26 in these states. Kisan Divas, or the National Farmers' Day, is celebrated on December 23rd every year. This day marks the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna Chaudhary Charan Singh, a key leader who fought for the rights of the farmers. He played a major role in improving the lives of farmers in India. We get to more in this report.
National Farmers' Day is celebrated on the 23rd of December to mark the birth anniversary of the 5th Prime Minister of India, Chaudhary Charan Singh. The day honours and appreciates farmers for their contributions to society and holds special significance. The strength and vitality of a nation's farmers, often referred to as Annadatas, is closely linked to the overall empowerment and prosperity of the country. The sincere efforts of the Government of India to uplift this crucial segment of society warrants commendation and recognition. India is the world's largest producer of milk, pulses and jute and ranks as the second largest producer of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, fruit and cotton. It is also one of the leading producers of spices, fish, poultry, livestock and plantation crops. Commitment to live up to its name of Krishi Pradhan Desh. Farmers across the nation are experiencing a newfound sense of economic security and assurance, showing the government's farmer-centric focus. The budget set aside for agriculture increased 5 times, from 1.37 lakh crore rupees during 2007 to 14 to 7.27 lakh crore rupees during 2014 to 2025. Infrastructure near the farms is key to farmers' welfare. Since the inception of the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, rupees 35,262 crores have been sanctioned for 48,352 projects. Major projects sanctioned under Agriculture Infrastructure Fund include 11,165 warehouses, 10,307 primary processing units, 10,948 custom hiring centers, 2,420 sorting and grading units, 1,486 cold store projects, 169 assaying units, and around 11,857 other kinds of post-harvest management projects, and a historic MSP increase. Initiatives and endeavors. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana has become the largest crop insurance scheme in the world in terms of farmer enrollments, as well as the third largest scheme in the world in terms of insurance premiums. The government has formulated the agriculture export policy in the country for the first time. This has led to agriculture exports reaching up to 4 lakh crore rupees, with scope for further advancement. The government is promoting cooperatives in agriculture. Therefore, a Ministry of Cooperation has been established for the first time in the country. To ensure faster growth of the sector, the government is promoting private and public investment in post-harvest activities including aggregation, modern storage, efficient supply chains. Till December 19, 2023, 23.58 crore soil health cards have been distributed to farmers. India's global dominance extends across agricultural commodities, making it the largest producer of milk, pulses and spices worldwide. Given opportunities and an appropriate policy setting, India's farmers have demonstrated their capability to meet the food demands of the rest of the world. Abhishek Mahajan's report for DD India.
And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. Rehearsals for the Grand Republic Day Parade are in full swing in Delhi. Army personnel braved the torrential cold weather to perfect their performances for the upcoming event. Despite the freezing temperature, soldiers are maintaining their unwavering discipline, marching in formation and practicing their drills with precision. A training program on making jute bags has been launched in Udhampur, aiming to empower women and promote sustainable livelihood. The initiative equips women with essential skills in crafting eco-friendly jute bags, offering them a pathway to financial independence. The program includes hands-on workshops on designing, cutting and stitching jute bags, as well as sessions on marketing and entrepreneurship. The 31st Imphal Book Fair is drawing book lovers from across the region, transforming the city into a hub of literary excitement. The event features an extensive collection of books ranging from fiction and non-fiction to academic and regional literature. Publishers and authors from Manipur and beyond have gathered to showcase their work, offering visitors an opportunity to explore diverse genres and perspectives. Tourists flock to Ahmedabad's Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary to witness the mesmerizing sight of migratory birds. Known as a haven for avian species, the sanctuary hosts a variety of winged visitors during the winter months, attracting nature enthusiasts and bird watchers alike. The sanctuary's serene environment, combined with its rich biodiversity, makes it a must-visit destination for both tourists and wildlife photographers. Tourists flock to Kullu Manali, transforming the picturesque hill stations into bustling hubs of Christmas and New Year festivities. The region, blanketed in snow, offers the perfect setting for holiday celebrations, attracting visitors from across the country and abroad. Adventure enthusiasts are also enjoying activities like skiing, snowboarding and paragliding in the scenic valleys. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, bridge collapses in Brazil. It claims lives and spills toxic acid. Mass protests against Serbian government as thousands demand accountability over deadly railway station collapse. Mayotte reels from cyclone Jute as rescue efforts intensify amid fears of thousands dead and disease outbreaks.
Goa, a food paradise, both steeped in historical culinary tradition and at the forefront of a modern-day food revolution that is fresher, more local, and more global than ever before. I'm embarking on a journey across the state to explore the very best of food here.
This is honestly my favorite way to eat an egg.
Break bread with some of Goa's most loved chefs and understand what food really means to communities here. Watch Postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's get to updates on the Russia-Ukraine crisis now. Tensions continue to escalate as Russian President Vladimir Putin vows retaliation against Ukraine following a drone attack in Kazan. Meanwhile, Ukraine pushes forward with NATO aspirations and European leaders warn of broader threats from Russia. Here's more in this report.
2 days after the drone strikes on a high-rise apartment block in Kazan, Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to bring more destruction to Ukraine in retaliation. He warned whoever tries to destroy Russia will face many times more destruction themselves.
Whoever and however much they try to destroy in Russia, they will face many times more destruction themselves and will regret what they are trying to do in our country.
Earlier in the day, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed optimism about Ukraine's NATO membership, calling it achievable. However, he acknowledged that the Kyiv must continue efforts to persuade allies to support its accession.
Alliance for Ukraine is achievable, but it is achievable only if we fight for this decision at all the necessary levels.
Meanwhile, during a meeting with leaders from Italy, Sweden and Greece, along with the EU Foreign Affairs Chief in Finland, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said Russia poses a significant threat to European Union security.
We have to understand the threat is much more wide than we imagine. Okay? It's about our democracy, it is about influencing our public opinions, tackling the issue of illegal immigration solely as a solidarity-based debate was a mistake, in my opinion, as this matter is precisely a matter about security. The result is that we have been unable to defend our external borders and we have put our internal freedom of movement at risk.
On the ground, Russian forces on Saturday captured 2 Ukrainian villages in Kharkiv and Donetsk regions. At the same time, Ukraine's air defenses successfully shot down 52 of the 103 Russian drones launched overnight, underscoring the intense and ongoing conflict. Amish Mahajan's report for DD India.
Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico at the Kremlin on Sunday as a contract allowing for Russian gas to transit through Ukraine nears its expiry date. Slovakia, heavily dependent on Russian gas, fears supply disruptions with the Ukraine transit contract expiring year-end. Ukraine has made it clear that it will not renew the transit contract. While Fico mentioned that Putin had confirmed Russia's readiness to continue to supply gas to the West and to Slovakia. Fico posted on social media that Sunday's meeting was in response to Ukrainian President Zelensky opposing any transit of gas through Ukraine to our territory. The two leaders also discussed the conflict in Ukraine just hours after Putin had warned of harsh reprisals against Kyiv over a drone attack. Syria's new leader, Ahmed al-Shara, said on Sunday that all weapons would come under state control and his administration would announce the new structure of the defense ministry and military within days. In a joint press conference with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan in the Syrian capital Damascus, al-Shara said that weapons in the country, including those held by Kurdish-led forces, would come under state control. Shara said that after upcoming consultations with defense and military officials on a new structure for the military, armed fractions will begin to announce their dissolution and enter the army.
Within days, the Defense Ministry will be announced and a committee of high-level military leaders will be formed to design a new structure for the new Syrian army. Following that, the factions will begin to announce their dissolution and integration gradually. We will not by any means allow for arms outside the control of the state. It is the top of our priorities to work on controlling arms in the country, and I think there is a wide agreement among the factions.
Meanwhile, Turkey's foreign minister said after talks with Shara that there is no room for Kurdish militants in Syria's future and that they must disband and that all sanctions on Damascus must be lifted for the country to rebuild. Fidan said that Turkey was ready to support Syria in rebuilding efforts and said that he hoped his visit would encourage more high-level contact from other countries.
There is no doubt about Syria's territorial integrity and unity, and there can never be any. In our talks today, we confirmed our mutual will on this issue. I would like to emphasize once again that there is no place for the Kurdish militants in Syria. This territorial organization is occupying the land of Syrian people and stealing its natural resources.
In southern Brazil, a small plane carrying 10 people crashed into shops at the center of the tourist city of Gramado on Sunday, killing everyone on board. The aircraft owner and pilot died along with other 9 passengers, all of them who were members of his family. In addition, 17 people on the ground were also injured, with 12 still receiving hospital care, including 2 in critical condition. Manufactured in 1990, the twin-engine Piper took off from nearby Canela Airport and was heading to Jundiaí in Sao Paulo state under unfavorable weather conditions. The cause of the crash is being investigated by the Aeronautical Accident Investigation and Prevention Center. Meanwhile, in another incident in Brazil, a bridge connecting 2 states in northern and northeastern regions collapsed on Sunday as vehicles were crossing, killing at least 1 person and spilling sulfuric acid after a truck carrying the acid plunged into the Tocantins River. Now, according to the department, 1 person has been confirmed dead and another was rescued alive. Preliminary estimates indicate that at least 11 people were involved in the accident, with 2 trucks, a car and a motorcycle falling into the river, which is more than 164 feet deep. The United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and several other Gulf countries have imposed an indefinite ban on granting visas to people from at least 30 different cities of Pakistan. The decision follows an alarming rise in the number of cases where Pakistani nationals have been caught begging or being involved in smuggling, drug trafficking, human trafficking and other criminal offences abroad. The Gulf countries and cities, especially Dubai and Abu Dhabi, remain the most preferred destinations for millions of Pakistani travellers and job seekers. However, following the ban and increasing visa rejections, the already dented image of the Pakistani passport, ranked 4th worst in the world for 3rd consecutive year, will suffer further irreparable damage. Elon Musk, the world's richest person, emerged as a significant influencer, wielding considerable power alongside US President-elect Donald Trump. Trump, as co-head of a project to cut government costs, Musk helped lead opposition online to a government funding bill that would have included the Chinese investment restrictions. Up next, the report ahead.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the US President on 20th of January 2025, marking the start of his 2nd term and a remarkable political resurgence. One man has been by his side, cheering him and becoming Trump's star campaigner. That is Elon Musk. the tech billionaire and CEO of Tesla. Musk, who had previously described himself as half Democrat, half Republican, began hitting out at US President Joe Biden and his administration over their policies soon after he was elected. The relationship soured further in 2021 when Musk complained that his company Tesla wasn't invited to the White House's summit on the future of electric cars, despite it selling 74% of all EVs in US alone. Musk also criticized Biden's support to workers' unions and said he was unable to get a lot done. Before Donald Trump was voted to power in 2016, Musk slammed the Republican and said he was not the right guy for the job. But recently, Trump's relationship with Elon Musk is showing no signs of fraying, even after at times he appeared to eclipse the president-elect's influence, as he bullied House Republicans into paring down their bipartisan spending deal to avert a government shutdown with just hours to spare. The top Democrat on the House of Representatives Appropriations Committee has said Republicans in Congress were protecting Elon Musk's Chinese investments by scrapping provisions restricting US investments. Representative Rosa DeLauro said in a letter that Musk, CEO of electric car maker Tesla, may have upended the government funding process to remove a provision that would regulate US investments in China, given his extensive investments in China in key sectors. Musk posted a number of critical posts about DeLauro on X on Friday, including one that said she needs to be expelled from Congress. Earlier, Musk, in a post on X on Wednesday, said that any US lawmaker who votes for the proposed stopgap bill to fund the federal government deserves to be voted out. President-elect Donald Trump has named Elon Musk as co-head of a project to cut government costs. Musk helped lead opposition online to a government funding bill that would have included the Chinese investment restrictions. Dheeraj Das report for DD India.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump told supporters on Sunday that his billionaire ally Elon Musk was not taking the presidency, as he said his opponents are trying to suggest. Trump has tasked Musk, the world's richest person, with heading a budget-cutting task force, but he will hold no official position in Washington.
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job.
US President-elect Donald Trump said on Sunday that he will launch a new anti-drug advertising campaign to show the physical impact of taking drugs like fentanyl, and repeated his threat to designate Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations. Trump's plan has echoes of Just Say No anti-drug campaign led by Republican former First Lady Nancy Reagan in the 1980s to encourage young Americans to refuse drugs. Trump also revived a campaign vow to designate Mexico's drug cartels as terrorist groups. Some US officials had also privately expressed misgivings that the measure could damage relations with Mexico and hinder the Mexican government's fight against drug trafficking.
We're going to do very big advertising campaigns, just like a campaign for running for president. We spend a lot of money, but it'll be a very small amount of money relatively. We're going to advertise how bad drugs are for you, how bad they are. Every foreign gang member will be expelled, and I will immediately designate the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We're going to do it immediately. And we'll unleash the full power of federal law enforcement, ICE, Border Patrol.
Recovery efforts are underway in Kuwaiti, Mayotte, after the devastation caused by cyclone Jute, as French rescue workers are seen treating the wounded in a video footage released by French civil security services on Sunday. Children and adults were seen receiving medical treatment from the rescue workers, with some having cuts cleaned and bandaged. Officials in Mayotte have only been able to confirm 35 fatalities from cyclone Jute, but some have said that they fear thousands could have been killed. Health workers say they are bracing for a surge of disease as dead bodies lie unburied and people struggle to get clean drinking water. Cyclone Jute killed at least 94 people in Mozambique in its deadly rampage through the Indian Ocean last week, raising the previous death toll of 76. The cyclone, which devastated the French island territory of Mayotte before hitting the African mainland, also destroyed thousands of homes in Mozambique. It comes as the southern African nation reels from a deadly post-election crisis, pitting the party in power since Mozambique's independence from Portugal against an opposition crying foul over alleged electoral fraud. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Trump threatens to retake Panama Canal, citing high fears and Chinese influence. Panama pushes back. The Christmas thrill has died into lull and sobriety as people pay tributes to the victims, and Magdeburg Christmas market remains closed. We will show you a beloved spectacle requiring 6 weeks to prepare each as Swabian village shines with festive light display.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get a quick relook at the top stories now. Indian Prime Minister concludes his historic 2-day visit to Kuwait, with both sides elevating the relationship to strategic partnership. Slovak Prime Minister meets Russian President as Ukraine refuses to extend Russian gas transit deal, which nears expiry. Syria's new leader says all weapons to come under state control, including those held by Kurdish-led forces, to announce defense and military structures soon. Small plane crashes into Brazil tourist city, killing at least 10. President-elect Donald Trump threatened to reassert U.S. control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American Passage, which allows ships to cross between Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Speaking to a crowd of supporters in Arizona on Sunday, Trump also said that he would not let the canal fall into the wrong hands, warning of potential Chinese influence on the passage. Trump's comments came hours after he leveled a similar threat against Panama in a post on Truth Social on Saturday night.
We will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands, but it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
Moments after Donald Trump doubled down on his plans to take back the Panama Canal, Panama's president said that the canal will remain under his country's control. In a video posted on social media, Jose Raul Molino rejected Trump's claims that the United States could retake the waterway. He also disputed Trump's complaints that U.S. vessels were being charged unfair and exorbitant fees to travel through the canal.
Canal no tiene control directo.
The canal is not controlled directly or indirectly by China, the European Community, the United States, or any other power. As a Panamanian, I reject any statement that misrepresents this reality. The canal will continue to be in Panamanian hands as the patrimony of our nation and guaranteeing its use for the peaceful and uninterrupted transit of ships of all nations.
Para el tránsito pacífico.
Trump would also nominate Mauricio Claver-Carón to serve as a special envoy to Latin America. He was fired from a previous position for allegedly having an affair with a subordinate. Trump said Claver-Carón would help address migration and drug smuggling issues. Claver-Carón was the first American to serve as the head of the bank. In that role, he had tried to wrest power away from Argentina and Brazil, which have dominated the agenda in the past, and provide more of a role for smaller countries. But he was fired in 2022 as head of the Inter-American Development Bank after an investigation found that he had an intimate relationship with the staffer. Investigators also found that Claver-Carón created a hostile environment at the bank. He denied having an affair. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump continues to pick his loyalists for his new administration. New addition to the list is Kathy Miller. She is a veteran of Trump's first administration who served as Deputy Press Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security and later as Press Secretary for former Vice President Mike Pence. Kathy will be one of the first members of an advisory board to be led by billionaire allies Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy that aims to drastically slash government spending, federal regulations and the federal workforce. She is also the wife of Stephen Miller, Trump's incoming Deputy Chief of Staff and Homeland Security Advisor. Her appointment to the Department of Government Efficiency highlights her deep ties to Trump's inner circle and her experience navigating the complexities of Washington bureaucracy. Musk and Ramaswamy recently revealed plans to wipe out scores of federal regulations crafted by what they say is anti-democratic, unaccountable bureaucracy, but have yet to announce the members of the new team. Mozambique is on the edge ahead of a ruling expected on Monday to determine the final results of October's disputed election. Political unrest grasped the East African country for more than 2 months after exiled opposition leader Venancio Mondlane claimed that there were irregularities in the elections. Mondlane has also threatened to call a popular uprising if the Constitutional Council approves initial results that found that he came second in the October 9th vote behind the ruling from Frelimo party candidates. The Election Commission results said that Mondlane had won 20% of the presidential vote as compared to 71% for Daniel Chapo, the Frelimo candidate. Mondlane has said that the result was rigged and that he had won 53% of the vote. Several international observer missions have also said there were irregularities. Tributes started pouring in as residents gathered in front of the church close to the Magdeburg Christmas market on Sunday to show their sympathy with the victims and their relatives of the attack that killed 5 and injured scores. A man suspected of plowing a car through crowds at the market faces multiple charges of murder and attempted murder. Friday evening's attack in the central city of Magdeburg shocked the country and stirred up tensions over the charged issue of immigration. Tens of thousands of people gathered in the central Belgrade city on Sunday to protest against President Alexander Vučić and his ruling Serbian Progressive Party. The party was blamed for a railway station roof collapse last month that killed 15 people. The protesters switched on the lights of their mobile phones and stood in silence for 15 minutes to commemorate the victims. Opposition leaders and the public have taken to the streets repeatedly, blaming the accident on shoddy construction resulting from government corruption and nepotism. The ruling coalition denies those charges, and Vučić had said that those responsible must be held to account. Albania announced a one-year ban on TikTok, the popular short video app, following the killing of a teenager last month that raised fears over the influence of social media on children. Rahul Upadhyay from DD India gets us this report.
Albania's Prime Minister has announced the government intends to block access to TikTok for 1 year after the killing of schoolboy last month raised fears about the influence of social media on children. Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama declared his government would shut down social network TikTok for at least a year from 2025. Proposed ban would start in January. Meanwhile, TikTok said it is seeking urgent clarifications from the Albanian government about the proposed ban. As per media report, the social media platform had found no evidence that the person who allegedly stabbed the 14-year-old boy or the victim himself had TikTok accounts. Countries like India have already implemented a nationwide ban on TikTok. It is also blocked in Iran, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Somalia. TikTok is also fighting against a law passed by the US Congress, which would ban the app from 19th of January unless it is sold by ByteDance, its Chinese parent company. The US government is taking action against the app because of what it says are its links to the Chinese state. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
Indian Film Festival honouring Raj Kapoor's legacy has kicked off in Moscow. RT correspondent Anastasia Volodina reports from the event.
From the heart of the Russian capital and across to New Delhi, the Indian Film Festival has officially kicked off in Moscow, celebrating not only the magic of Indian cinema, but the timeless legacy of Raj Kapoor, the legendary producer, film director and actor, celebrating the 100th anniversary of his birth. This year's film festival is being held at Moscow's iconic Illusion Cinema. Over 3 days, the festival will showcase 6 diverse films organized by the Indian Embassy, the Russian Ministry of Culture and other government bodies. It honors the best of Indian cinema across multiple genres. The event is a spectacle of the diverse array of national award winners, regional gems and cutting-edge independent films, all underscoring the universal power of storytelling to break through geographical, cultural and linguistic divides. The festival will also feature renowned film personalities and performers and include panel discussion on the cooperation between Russia and India in film production, where producers, studio heads and film distributors from the two nations will take part.
Most of the actors in India, those who are trained actors or even untrained actors in drama school, we all have been inspired by Chekhov, Gorky, Tolstoy. So I'm very glad to be here in Moscow for the first time.
As far as Russian cinema is concerned, it has made everything. The theories of filmmaking came from Russia, be it Pudovkin, Eisenstein, Tarkovsky, one of my favorite filmmakers. They all came from here.
The Indian Film Festival kicked off with a vibrant opening ceremony celebrating the day 100 years ago legendary actor and director Raj Kapoor was born. The event featured the unveiling of a book honouring him titled The Master at Work, as well as screening of one of his acclaimed films and a mesmerising performance by the Moscow Conservatory Chamber Choir, all paying tribute to the enduring legacy of Kapoor's cinematic genius. Raj Kapoor's films, with their emotional depth and unforgettable music, have resonated not only with audiences in India, but transcended cultural boundaries, as his distinguished roles and direction have left an indelible mark on the world.
Indian movies have always been very popular in earlier Soviet Union, now Russia, and all Indian blockbusters, most of Indian movies are released here with Russian subtitles on a regular basis. A number of cinema halls show Indian movie very regularly. We promote that.
The Indian Film Festival salutes both the magic of Indian cinema and the enduring legacy of Raj Kapoor, proving the universal power of storytelling. Anastasia Volodina, RT from Moscow.
All right, we now take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Dozens of stand-up paddle boarding athletes dressed as Santa Claus descended upon the seafront of Greece's second biggest city of Thessaloniki on Sunday, paddling across some of the most famous landmarks. The Christmas house in Balzone enchants visitors as its lights glow. 45,000 lights illuminate the nativity scene in front of Joseph Glogger's house in the Swabian village near Guensberg. For over 20 years, the Christmas house has showcased illuminated nativity figures from December to mid-January, requiring 6 weeks to set up. A veteran firefighter in Guatemala City continues his 27-year tradition of dressing as Santa to rappel from a bridge and deliver gifts to low-income children before Christmas. At the age of 78, Hector Shakin, a fire department major, rappels from the 75-meter Las Vacas Bridge in northern Guatemala City to deliver Christmas gifts. Jazzed up mince pies are stirring debate across the UK as variations of the classic Christmas treat, traditionally filled with spiced fruit, are being introduced with modern twists. From adding unexpected ingredients like salted caramel or chocolate to experimenting with different crusts, these new versions are dividing opinions. Purists argue that such innovations stray too far away from the original, while others embrace the creative updates, seeing them as a way to refresh a beloved holiday tradition. You're watching DD India News. Up next, a quick break, but after the break, Starbucks workers expand strike in the US cities, including New York, but the strike poses no significant impact on its operations. Rohit Sharma's knee injury not serious, says Indian pace bowler Akashdeep ahead of the fourth test against Australia. Qatar's annual hot air balloon festival ends with a beautiful riot of colours in the sky. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's get to updates from the world of business now. The dollar was steady on Monday after US inflation data showed only a modest rise last month, easing some concerns about the pace of US sale cuts, US rate cuts next year. The US dollar remained steady at 107.78 on Monday, close to a two-year high of 108.54, reached on Friday against 6 major currencies. The Federal Reserve last week shocked the markets by projecting a measured pace of rate cuts ahead, sending Treasury yields. The annual increase in core inflation, including food and energy, remains stubbornly well above the US Central Bank's 2% target. The yen loitered near 156 per dollar, raising the possibility of intervention. The euro was struggling at $1.043, close to its two-year low from November, and has fallen 5.5% this year. In cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin was slightly lower at $94,215. News Corp and tel company Telstra have agreed to sell their Australian cable television and streaming company Foxtel to British sports platform DAZN. The struggling business is valued at $2.1 billion, including debt. The News Corp will hold a 6% stake in DAZN, and Telstra will own 3% of the London-headquartered global streaming platform backed by billionaire Len Blavatnik. As part of the deal, shareholder loans valued at 578 million Australian dollars outstanding will be repaid in full, and Foxtel's current debt will be refinanced at the closing. Foxtel has weighed on News Corp profit for years as the number of people who pay monthly subscriptions for its broadcast content switch to cheaper streaming options like Netflix. News Corp will get one board seat at DAZN, which was founded in 2016. Starbucks workers have expanded their strike to 4 more US cities, including New York. The 5-day strike, which began on Friday and initially closed Starbucks cafes in Los Angeles, Chicago and Seattle, has added locations in New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia and St. Louis. Starbucks also said that the disruptions from the strike have no significant impact on its operations because only a small handful of U.S. stores have been impacted. The coffee chain said Workers' United proposals call for an immediate increase in the minimum wage of hourly partners by 64% and by 77% over the life of a 3-year contract. That is not sustainable. The company operates more than 11,000 stores in the United States, employing about 200,000 workers. Talks between Starbucks and the union hit an impasse with unresolved issues over wages, staffing and schedules leading to the strike. Let's turn focus to sports updates. The Pakistan Cricket Board has chosen the United Arab Emirates as a neutral venue to host India's games and next year's ICC Champions Trophy following a standoff between the two rivals. India has refused to travel to tournament to host Pakistan for the 8-team Champions Trophy amid the security concerns. The ICC confirmed on Tuesday that all of India's games will be at a neutral venue under a hybrid model, including if the team reaches the semi-finals and final. The hybrid model will be followed in all ICC events between India and Pakistan that are set to take place from 2024 to 27. Indian pace bowler Akashdeep played down concerns over skipper Rohit Sharma's knee injury ahead of their 4th test against Australia starting December 26. The batsman was hit on his left knee during a practice session at the Melbourne cricket ground and looked in discomfort. The 37-year-old received care from a physiotherapist and had an ice pack strapped to his leg. The 5-match series is locked at 1 each ahead of the Boxing Day clash. The Indian skipper has been struggling for form since returning to the team. Indian women decimated West Indies by a mammoth 211 runs in the first one-day match in Vadodara on Sunday. Batting first, India posted imposing 314 for the loss of 9 wickets. Smriti Mandhana was architect of the innings as she struck a superb 91 and put up a 110-run partnership with Pratika Rawal for the opening wicket. Harleen Deol provided some substance through the middle while Harmanpreet Kaur and Richa Ghosh led India's assault towards the back end. In reply, the West Indies innings never took off. Their top 4 batters departed for single figures, with both the openers getting ducks. Renuka Singh was the wrecker-in-chief. She claimed her maiden 5-wicket haul. West Indies were eventually bundled out for just 103 runs. The second ODI between the two teams will take place on Tuesday at the same venue. The skies over Qatar's Mizyat city were alive with vibrant colours during last day of the country's 5th annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. The festival featured 60 balloons from all over the world, captivating locals and visitors alike with their various shapes and themes. India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to the digital media and OTT audience. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. With that reminder, we end this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.